Hey, good day everyone. Making this video today for the new competition shooter. I had a pretty big weekend competing myself. I did a match Saturday and Sunday, which I'll talk about a little bit about here in a minute. But through posting some of my videos and scores and that, there were like as few people as I do get to reach out to on social media. My my inbox was getting pretty blown up with people that really just had no idea how to even take the first step forward. So, if you're interested at all in competing, first of all, the biggest thing I can tell you is that guys on the range are the exact opposite of guys on the internet. Let's be like, there's so many keyboard warriors and know-it-alls and egos on the internet. It makes it very discouraging for most shooters to they just don't even want to bother. So why would you want to go to a range with a bunch of guys that seemingly already know what they're doing and get embarrassed? My experience has been just the opposite. My first competition about 4 years ago, I went to a steel challenge match. I was nervous, I was intimidated, and about 5 minutes after being there, it all washed away. I got my squad, went to my bay, and they were like, hey, who's new? Who hasn't done this before? I raised my hand. And they're like, all right, cool. Just hang in the back. You'll go last. Watch what everyone else is doing. Pay attention to the commands, blah, blah, blah. And went up there, did my thing, first stage, and I was like, oh, that's it. And, of course, I was slow. It was ugly, but whatever. I got my feet wet. But what I didn't even know about that is the biggest thing after that was like I didn't know about practice score. Right now, practice score is the best and easiest way to figure out about what's going on in your area. And that's competitions mostly. There are some ranges that put training events on there as well. Why they don't gear towards that, I don't know. But that's the direction I'm heading. So if you go to practice score and you make an account, they have a dashboard there. It can show you clubs in your area, so you can follow clubs that do events, or you can just search your area by a map and you can say, hey, update my location, and you click about where you are and you can zoom out and things just pop up. Yeah, most guys are shocked about how much stuff is going on around them and they didn't even know about it. The next thing I would encourage someone to do is start with either a steel challenge match or maybe a 22 rimfire rifle match. I started with steel challenge. I did not start with 22 rimfire because I honestly I didn't know about it. And some of the more experienced gas gun guys that I've talked to now, they still do rimfire matches because it's really cheap, the targets are small, and it's still a great way to go out and practice your skills. You know, if it doesn't matter if you're shooting an AR-15 or a Ruger 1022, if your fundamentals are poor, the results are going to be the same. So why not go out and practice with cheaper ammo? And the steel challenge matches, they're very, very simple. There's no movement. There's no reloads on the timer. You go up, you stand there, you put your magazines down, you shoot your string in the course of fire, you stop, reload, go again, go again, go again. So, but what it does though is it gets you comfortable with having eyes on you while you're working your gun. And it's humbling. It's humbling. Even a guy messaged me last night. It's like, man, I took my first class, and yeah, all the expensive parts that I took with me, and I was still awful. Yep, it happens. It's okay. It's okay. That's where I started. That's where several of my best friends started, and we realized we were terrible, and we didn't want to be terrible anymore. So we started taking classes and competing. And inside of 5 years now, me and some of my very close friends are on the leaderboards, and we're on the podiums, and we're making a big difference inside of ourselves and putting in the effort to be up there. And it does get incrementally harder, you know, going from the bottom 25% to Next 25%, you can get there with some dry fire in that. And then climbing up to the next, the upper half, you're going to have to take some classes and have some aha moments. And you're like, oh, I've been doing that wrong for 20 years. It happens. It's okay. And remember, just because someone says, I've been doing that and it's been working for me for 20 years, like, okay, that's cool. That's great. It's gotten you this far. But do you want to go further? Do you want to try something new? Let go of the traditions, let go of the ego, and just go and be a dry sponge and treat these early events in your training adventure, or your competition adventure rather, as kind of like a charcuterie board. You get a little sample of everything. You don't have to sit down and just nail a 32-ounce prime rib, though they're pretty good. So just go out there, try new things. If there are guys that come up to you and you're like, hey man, can I point something out, or can I give you a little tip? Let them do it. Be like, yeah man, go for it. If it's garbage, just like, okay, thanks, and chuck it. Or if you're curious, try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if you say no, you have no idea. You're never going to grow. So that's that. Steel challenge matches for handguns, rimfire matches for 22s, and they're very frequent in a lot of ranges, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding one on Practice Score. Just go ahead, there's no room in your shooting bag anyway, so leave your ego in the car or even at home. Just show up, humble and cool. Everyone else is going to be cool too. I've heard about it. It's rare. I've never personally seen it, but there's none of that crap like you see on the internet on the range. It's a good time out there. I've met some of my best friends through shooting. Just go out and try it. It's okay. So on that though, I got a pretty solid weekend myself. I went up to the New Holland Range in Pennsylvania and shot the IWI Pro-Am match. I was mistaken. This is the first match counting points towards their series is actually next month, so I'll probably do that one as well. The Pro-Am match, I shouldn't bash them too hard without. I did fill out the survey about what I thought was needed improvement. It was very crowded. The stages were not very technical, and the target arrays were very, very tight. They had all the steel on 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, and there was like 450 and 550. But all the targets were on the same embankments, and they just had numbers. So if you're on stage 7, you shot at target 7 on whatever range. And it got to be kind of confusing because they were all at a certain angle where they overlapped. So from some shooting positions, the steel of another stage would block or pretty well prevent you from hitting the steel that you were supposed to. So that was kind of a problem. It was very crowded, almost pushing to where I'm like, I don't even want to say unsafe, but they're like kind of asking for a trip or a fall. It was under one overhang, or I don't know, sunshade. There's a lot of tripods and the spotters, and at times there was barely enough room to even lay down your rifle. So I would encourage them to break it up into smaller squads or something. But I still had a good time. I shot decent. It's been a while since I shot my 5.56, so I was a little rusty on that, but I managed to come in 7th in their recce division. And then yesterday I went out and shot my favorite series. It's a Quantified Performance match series run by Ash Hess and Jack Lua of Quantified Performance. This year is the first year they're doing a points race, so that's cool. At first I was like, I wasn't even going to bother. But once Ash explained the points and how they work, I was like, maybe I got a chance. And, yesterday I took took home second place in general purpose, and that bumped me up to fourth place in the general purpose division for the series. So there's still a lot of matches throughout the year. Anything could happen, but it's just cool to know that I'm competitive. I'm hanging with the guys that I've looked up to and the names that you've seen up there. Like I'm up there with them now, so it's very cool. There's quantified performance matches in North Florida, Georgia. There's one coming up in Vegas, and the Quantico match in Virginia. That's the one I shot. And then that Quantico match is happening again at the end of July. There's one in August and one in September. There's a 2-day QP match at the arena in Blakely, Georgia on May 21st. That's the June and July paper. May 21st and 22nd, I believe. I'm going to try to make that one. I know the finale's in November. And there's, I want to say there's like 8 more matches of maybe even more, 8 or 10 more matches before the finale in November. So there's still plenty of time to join and get points because it is the best 4 matches, I believe. And it's some kind of combination of a 2-day and 2 days or something like that. But if you get 4 matches in, you could be, just as competitive in the points as even the guys that have already shot 2 matches. So don't be afraid to jump in now. I would rather the competition be harder and hopefully still win than just like getting 4th and there's only 7 guys that paid to join. So, the more the merrier. But that's all I got. I just wanted to break this video real quick so I could put it up on YouTube and point guys to it for a little bit of an explanation to how to get into competing. You don't need all the fast guy gear. You can go out there with your Glock 19. You can go out there with your 10/22. A good holster and some mag holsters on your belt. You're not going to be burning down the house your first couple matches anyway, so you don't need to go out there with all the cool guy stuff. So, all right, well, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed everything I had to say, of course, please like this video, share it, subscribe, and there's a lot more coming in the future. I've been very busy trying to wrap up the semester in the school, but I got a stack of papers here, and working on a website, and hopefully some big things coming in the next couple weeks. So we'll see you then. Thanks.